Good. What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. I think today we got another good show lined up. And I'm great. I'm just gonna do like a quick sound check just to make sure we good, Jack. But yeah, man, we're gonna talk about let me see, we're gonna talk about Sheduer Sanders. The injuries, the injuries to the Indiana Fever, those two players for Ari McDonald and the other young lady. Then I want y'all opinion on the statement that the other young lady made. What's her name? Down to Taurasi. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw the trail. I actually saw the trailer for the documentary they doing on her. I saw the trailer.
Right.
And
I
heard that as soon as I heard that comment, it jumped out at me. So I know what you're talking about.
Right, exactly. And
I already know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea.
Yeah, I'm just like you. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, that's not gonna go across too well.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
Well, what Donna Taurasi said, they doing a trailer. Is it HBO or a documentary?
It's but I'm trying to think. Is it Amazon Prime?
It might be.
Netflix.
It probably is Amazon. And so they're doing. It was a trailer or preview to a documentary that somebody's doing for Donna Taurasi about her and her career, her journey. And she was saying that basically what she said that is, she had some I think it's like resentment or some harboring some bad feelings towards the WNBA and stuff like that, because she felt like she missed a lot of time from her family and everything from going to have to play over in Europe or Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And she said and then she come back to the United States and play against tougher competition in a worse league and get not, their pay is terrible, and she get paid less than the friggin' janitors, right?
Yeah, she said the effing janitor.
Yeah, she said less than the effing janitor. And so as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be a story right there.
Mm-hmm. This is why we get ourselves in trouble, yo. This is the exact reason why, yo.
Mm-hmm.
This is America. You have an option. If you wasn't making the money that you was making in the WNBA, you go somewhere else.
Right.
Or you don't play. Do something else. Yo, come on, yo. This is all right.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think that but first let me say I think like some of these WNBA players though, like I don't understand, like if they don't have media training or they don't have like people who teach them how what they say is very important, and how they say it also is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Donna Taurasi. I think Donna Taurasi is like one of the greatest WNBA players, right? But you can't be sympathetic to her cause when she putting down like her fan base. A lot of people that support the WNBA just regular middle class average people. You know what I mean? I used to be a janitor, you know what I mean, and clean for a living. So you can't be sympathetic to Donna Taurasi or people in the WNBA when they don't, her beef is not with janitors, and so I think they just shoot themselves in the foot when they make those kind of statements.
When you make that statement too, first of all, you're acting like that when you were playing, y'all was packing arenas night after night. They was playing at high school gyms and still wasn't packing the high school gyms.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, you can give it what it is. You are at the infancy of what the WNBA was bringing. Of course, you was going to make the less amount of money because you're at the beginning. Why all of a sudden now? And it's crazy because you look at the facts that's going on right now. Why all of a sudden now all the retired WNBA players are coming out and talking about we should have made more money. We should have had this and we should have had that. But yet you did nothing. And let me say nothing to help the cause for that. Where these young ladies right now are doing everything they can. They bringing their social media following to the game. They're always discussing it. They're playing a faster paced game, which people like now. You know what I'm saying? And they're bringing stars with them. You know what I'm saying? They're bringing rivalries that make you want to watch. You didn't do that in the beginning, WNBA. What you want to call them? Players. They didn't do that in the beginning. And that's the crazy part to me. Somewhere down the line, you got to say, we opened the door for what the WNBA is now. Now these girls are getting paid. Thank you. We thank you for moving it forward. They should thank them for starting it and moving it forward for them. And you keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? You don't see Jordan complaining like, well, shit, I should have got $40 million a year. But now these bums getting $40 million a year. Jordan didn't do that. They don't. That's the part that I'm pissed about with the WNBA. They don't realize you gotta crawl before you walk. You gotta walk before you run.
Right.
And right now you're in the opportunity to run. And now all these old veteran players want to put down the simple fact now that the new stars are trying to make this money, and they didn't. Well, that happens in sports. That's it.
Nancy Lieberman takes that approach you talking about, man. She celebrates these young girls coming in, and she thanks them for moving the game forward. She does take that approach. So I don't want to blanket all old players.
Right.
Lisa Leslie also champions the young ones coming in, and she thanks them for moving the game forward and stuff like that. But you got a valid point, And as far as Diana Taurasi, I understand a point she was making, but she messed up when she said the fucking janitor. That's dismissive. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I always say, I don't care what your lot in life is. I don't care what your mission is. I don't care what your purpose is. Every single thing matters. It may not matter to you individually, but it's playing a role in the big picture. So to dismiss somebody's position in life, to call them a fucking janitor, that's tough, man.
And see, both of y'all right, and I agree. Like Diana Taurasi, trailblazer, you know what I mean. She helped to lay down, like what Caitlin Clark is benefiting from, what Angel Reese is benefit. Paige Beckers is benefiting from the work that her, Nancy Lieberman, even people, the women who didn't get to play in the WNBA, like Cheryl Miller. You know what I mean? Like we still remember Cheryl Miller, and people appreciate what Cheryl Miller brought to the table as far as basketball, right? Cynthia Cooper was able to squeeze in there because she was at the tail end of her career when the WNBA started out, and she fortunately was able to win, come and win some champ.
And Cheryl Miller is a great example. She never got to taste the league, but she celebrates these young girls, moving the W forward. She's supportive of the W. I think she may have coached at one point. I'm not sure.
I know she coached, but I'm not sure about in the W though.
Yeah. So she's a great example. It's like we had our time. This is what it was, But listen, these girls wasn't short of like Cheryl Miller wasn't short of any fame. She had some commercials. She got speaking again. Once you get celebrity, you got a meal ticket.
Yeah, right.
For life.
See, that's another thing. Like I have always given like the women who came before the WNBA, always given them credit for being able to hustle and go overseas and make money and make the best of, like, as far as being entrepreneurs, those women were great at like making money and finding a way to make a living. Even though there was no WNBA at the time, or even the WNBA was just starting out, they found other ways to make revenue. They had like camps that they had the camp playing overseas, selling merchandise. They was just doing everything to make money.
How about a regular job? How about just having a regular job? She chose. Let me tell you, when she blames her situation on the WNBA, that is her blaming, trying to find a way out on a situation that she wanted. She wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you want to play basketball, you played in the WNBA, and now you're saying, "Well, I had to go to Russia to make my financial situation."
Right.
Well, you wanted to do that. You didn't have to go to Russia. You wanted to do that.
Exactly.
You got a degree. You could have did anything else.
That's the point. She got a degree and she got cachet.
Yeah.
Right.
So somebody would have gave her a nice
to play basketball.
Yep.
And you played basketball on the off season. Yes, you wanted to make more money, but then that has nothing to do with the WNBA. You want to make more money has nothing to do with the WNBA. Okay? Because if you wanted to make more money, you'd have went overseas and stayed overseas. Okay? But she decided to play in the WNBA, then that's it. Don't blame the WNBA for not paying you and where you landed in society, because the WNBA has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, that's part of that is entitlement, though. You know what I mean? Part of that is entitlement, like the WNBA, like the league owes her more than what she, what she got. You know. Let me go ahead. I want to welcome. I always get this young lady's name wrong. It's Anna back. I want to welcome Anna back to the chat. And get to what Ghost said. How does Donna Taurasi get 4 years at UConn and not know that the USL dissolved in the early 90s?
Yes.
She may have a degree, but she's not educated, right?
Yes. She said I had to go to a communist country to get paid like a capitalist, and it wasn't communist anymore.
It's no longer a communist country. And then Ghost also says that Rebecca Lobo been praising the young ladies too. And see, Rebecca Lobo is another person who is like, when you look at Rebecca Lobo, you see her as one of the pioneers. You know what I mean? Although her career, when she was with the New York Liberty, she didn't really get to play a long time. I think it's probably because of injury and stuff like that, right? But you remember Rebecca Lobo from UConn, and then a little bit time, she spent some time in the W. It's just unfortunate that they came early. You know what I mean? They not benefiting from what's going on right now.
But see, Rebecca Lobo is putting her degree to good use. She's a color commentary for games.
Right.
She got a great position,
Yeah. So Ghost says that Cheryl Miller used to regularly destroy Reggie Miller on the blacktop. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
man. I just think that I don't know. And see, my thing is like with the WNBA, because it's not just Donna Taurasi. And when we spoke before about some comments that was made about, who was that? Kelsey Plum made a couple comments directed towards fans. And so I just don't get their media training or like, you know what I mean? Like the people who support you are the ones who, you directing your frustration and your anger at.
Well, let's be honest a little bit about media training and these things. You're talking about more paid resources. And we always got to remember, as the league was starting and growing, and it's like 27 years now, 28 years, it didn't have a lot of resources for a lot of those things. So I think moving forward, you're going to have more of that stuff get implemented into this league. But that takes a lot of resources. You know what I'm saying? And money. You got to pay people to train them and media people and all that kind of stuff. So,
to me, it's like it feels as though they're trying to make a divide in the situation. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to divide. Well, I was there with the struggle for the league, so respect me. You know what I'm saying? And the newcomers are like, well, I don't know nothing about that struggle. All I know is what I'm dealing with right now. We're going through negotiations. We're trying to make more money. The league is growing. We're flying on private jets right now instead of commercial that they used to. So, you respect my struggle and I will respect your struggle. And it's just not happening that way.
Let me say this real quick, Clayton. I don't, and maybe y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see any of that like the new young girls coming in right now. I think they have appreciation for people like Cheryl Miller, Rebecca Lobo, and Donna Taurasi too. You know what I mean? Like when you throw those Maya Moore, when you throw those kind of names around, like those young players really get, you know what I mean? They're excited about those wins. I don't see the disrespect.
But see, the disrespect isn't really coming from them. The disrespect is coming from the veterans and the retired players and what we should have had and what we could have had, making this league grow. You know what I'm saying? And the key word to what's going on right now is growth. You know what I'm saying? Everybody feels as though they had a stand in the growth of the WNBA. Okay. which is true to a certain extent. Okay, it is true. Every generation has a thing to say. We help grow the league. Yes. The problem is right now the league is growing in all aspects of it. They're not losing teams. Okay, they're not losing fans. You know, the NBA is not paying more money into it because they're losing money. It's looking substantially better now. And when you get to that point, you know what I'm saying? The veterans got to say, like, look, let's help grow it. But the veterans aren't doing that. The veterans are saying, we grew it. This is what we did. You're standing on our backs, and now we want to reciprocate what you're trying to get to. We're trying to figure out why we're not getting it, or why we didn't get it.
I think the veterans are trying to address the media and the fans and the people that's celebrating the league now. It's almost like they're trying to make people feel guilty and shame them for not supporting before. And it goes back to this whole, it's so much, they're getting so much leverage in this society of being victims because the media and the corporations and companies are celebrating this victimhood type shit. And they're leaning in, and they've leaned into that. And this is their brand now. Like the W is all about victimhood. Like we was doing this, we was doing that. We didn't get this, we didn't get that. And they're leaning into that so much, and it's becoming the same old song, and it's becoming tiresome, and it's becoming annoying, and it's a turnoff to a lot of fans. But they're not addressing the young players. They're trying to shame the general public for not supporting it. But you can't make a person like what they don't like.
Right. And let me say this, which a lot of people aren't really recognizing. The WNBA is really, really growing, and the black horse that's in this thing is the NCAA. Remember, it's starting from them now. You know what I'm saying? It's starting from them. You got Juju that's great come in, you know what I'm saying, which is even going to bounce them even higher. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where it's starting from. The WNBA is really getting their game plan from what the NCAA is starting to give them.
You know what I'm saying? You're right, but the NCAA been feeding the W. Right, you got to give credit. You got to give credit to the evolution of the athlete. And you got to give credit to the players before them, because these young girls watch them get inspired. They watch the NBA get inspired, and now they're doing, and they're developing all this stuff in their games, and now they're becoming exciting players, and that's what's fueling the W.
So let me say this. First, I want to welcome my man Kent Carlson.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? Yeah.
Kent says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Your thoughts on how the WNBA has got from flying daggers and prison ball just to watch JTL, that's John the Liquidator. You know who he is, a CC fan, just got kicked out for waving a CC flag. What has what have we become?" I didn't know that he got kicked out.
No. John didn't get kicked out. I seen that. So at the Phoenix game the other night, you had a fan in the stands with a Caitlin Clark flag.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And she laid it over the banister. Yeah. They kicked them out. That's crazy as shit to me. But go ahead, Mike.
No, you're right. Yeah. Now that part I did see, the fan that got kicked out for for the support. If you want the fan to move the flag, you think it's in a bad position or something, just say, hey, you could support, but don't put the flag right there.
But it wasn't even in a bad position. But go ahead, Mike. That's crazy.
Right. I'm just I just thought.
Hey, what was it in a media position?
Huh?
Was it in a media position where you turn the cameras?
That's why I say you still could just ask them, like, if. But we remember we used to always watch football games, and in the end zone you'll see somebody with that sign that used to always say John 12:16 or something like that. It was like a biblical verse or something that they wanted you to refer to.
But you don't see that no more.
What you say?
But you don't see that no more.
No, you don't. But before
the NFL banned all that. That's all that banned. You can't bring in stuff like that to the NFL anymore.
Yeah, but they did that for a long time.
The only sport that I think that still does that is wrestling. I think wrestling is the only one where you can bring your own banners and stuff in. But all the other sports, they banned all that.
College can do that too.
Yeah, and you can also bring signs and flags. Like I've seen people bring flags for Lamar. I came all the way this way to see you play.
Well,
that.
No. That's a Ravens flag. I'm talking about, let's say a banner say that I hate Lamar. You can't have that and show it in the NFL. You can't have homemade banners in the NFL.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Well, but this wasn't no hatred. It was just a support for Caitlin. And they were actually playing in Phoenix. But go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So what Ghost says that early days in the NFL was like that too. Dudes will pull a 40-hour week at a hardware store.
Yep.
And be on the O-line on the weekends. Yeah. Didn't Johnny Unitas used to work at the steel plant, Bethlehem Steel? I think Johnny Unitas.
Yeah, I don't know where he worked at, but I know all those guys had jobs.
Yeah, some of those guys who for the Baltimore Coast used to work at the steel plant. And then you know, like those guys, trailblazers, it's just success sometimes is also about timing. It don't speak to their ability, you know, like what they could do on the field. It's just about timing. The NFL, you know, like Johnny Unitas and all those guys, Art Donovan, you know, they grew the league. You know, they didn't get to, you know, make the money. What was the quarterback name? Broadway Joe. You know, he didn't get to make the money that Dan Marino. You know,
it's a generational thing. Each generation made more money than the other generation.
Yeah, and so
and true athletes, well, people will understand that situation. Like you play the game to make the game better for the next generation to come in. And you don't complain. You don't see any of the superstars in the NBA talking about, my God, why is this guy making all this money and I didn't make this money? You don't see that because they knew what the deal was. You sign up for it. Anything you do professionally, you sign up for it. So anything that comes with it, you should be prepared for it. That's it.
Now, one thing I do want to see with that docuseries, I don't have Amazon Prime. But if I do get a chance to watch it, I want to hear the full context of that conversation as she was talking about.
Yeah, I do. I'm still gonna watch it because I'm still a fan. You know what I mean? I still dig down to Taurasi, right? So I'm still gonna watch it, but I just think that you know, I don't get it. I think they need to they need like media training. So, and Clayton, so you say that even with not having resources though, it's still, you still got to have a certain amount of like tact about what you say, you know what I mean? Even if you don't have media training, you know.
Yeah, you would think some of those girls were bringing in from college, but you got to remember too, in college, the coach does most of the talking in the interviews and the media because they're considered amateur athletes, right? So they're not getting a lot of that in college. You know what I'm saying? So you would think they would have some, but yeah, what you going? I don't know.
Let's look at it from the other side of the coin, though. Maybe she said these statements to get us to talk about it and get people to watch the program. I mean, watch the documentary. Okay, because controversy brings in viewership. We all know that. Okay, so the more controversial you are, the more people are going to watch to see what you say. And maybe that's one of those things she said. You know what? Because let's be honest, if it wasn't for this fact, I wouldn't have watched her documentary. I don't care that much about the WNBA to watch a documentary about a former star in the WNBA.
About Taurasi, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't have watched it. But now that I see the controversy in front of it, now I will tune into it to see what the controversy is really about. So maybe she does have what we say the media training, and she knows what's going to bring the viewership in.
Before you go, Mike, I'll say whoever's editing the trailer, whoever's producing it, they have the savvy because that was the perfect clip to put out there to create the buzz. But go ahead, Mike.
Exactly.
And I was going to say to that is like, what about like, is it more profitable though? Like the way she's doing that, because this is not the first time that Donna Taurasi has said something that has that she caught some backlash for, right? So would it be more profitable and work in her interest if she took the same road that's like Cheryl Miller or what's the other young lady that we just spoke about that do the comments?
Rebecca Lobo.
Yeah, Rebecca Lobo. You know what I mean? They get like Cheryl Miller had a TV job. Rebecca Lobo got a TV job. So
Yep.
why not take that road and you will have consistent employment? And like, who wouldn't want to hear from Donna Taurasi anyway? One of the best.
But let me ask you a question. Out of those two names that you had, who has a documentary about them coming out?
Yeah.
Well, Cheryl Miller already had one.
Neither one of them.
No, Cheryl Miller has already had. They already done plenty of stories on Cheryl Miller.
No. A documentary. Everybody does stories. Everybody does stories. When you get a documentary, that means you got 2 hours dedicated to your life.
Well, I don't know how long it's going to be, but Cheryl Miller, I would say Cheryl Miller.
But what about the other two that you were talking about? Rebecca Lobo. No, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the villain gets more press than the hero.
Yeah. And that is Diana Taurasi's brain. That's her brain. And she does have a television job. Her and Sue Bird have this show during the NCAA tournament that ESPN covers. The Bird and Taurasi show.
Who knows? This can lead. This documentary can lead to other things for her. Open up a podcast for her. Because look at prime example, Stephen A. Smith. He's not Stephen A. Smith unless he was controversy in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As controversial as Stephen A. Smith was, now he's the biggest thing on ESPN. So sometimes being the villain is what brings you more money than being the hero.
Yeah. I mean, that could be one way of looking at it.
Because she definitely stays on brand.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, hey, listen, if it works, it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way she does it, but it's gonna make me tune into a documentary that I wouldn't normally watch.
Yeah. So, and Ghost agrees with you. Ghost said that's an interesting theory. Taurasi playing a disgruntled granny to start some controversy and draw attention to the league. That's wrestling type media performance. That's true. I agree with that. I mean, that's not the approach that I would take, but
that's not your brand, Mike.
Somebody has to be the villain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If everybody's a good look at the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark thing when they first came in. Somebody had to be the villain.
Yeah. Antoine Baker said that's Stephen A. Stephen A. just said the dumbest shit, right? Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing, like when you talk for a living, or when you try to be that person that's going to be the the villain, you are going to say a lot of stuff. Huh?
The Decepticon.
Yeah.
The antagonist.
Yeah. So yeah, you are going to say some things,
Yeah. You gotta say some things to keep you in the media. Yeah. And the worse that you say it, the more they're gonna talk about you. And that's the whole key to this media thing right now, with everybody doing podcasts and everybody doing ESPN and all that, is to keep your name relevant going on. And I should know because I have the master of that running my Cowboys. Okay. Yeah. Jerry Jones is the master of being manipulative and the bad guy every single year to keep everybody talking about the Cowboys, regardless of our relevance. So, it is what it is, though. I like it. It's good entertainment.
Yeah, let me see what Antoine said. Let me see. He's still pushing this BS jealousy narrative, like CC kicking it with all of these players. Let me say, he said haters are all the All-Star weekend. I'm not really, let me see. Her haters are all the All-Star weekend. I ain't really get that too much. But yeah, man, I just didn't think it was wise, and then so Jason Whitlock just said, you know how Jason Whitlock, he just said like it was just a dumb jock type statement, right? And but so we covered Donna Taurasi. I want to talk a little bit about, let's talk about like Caitlin Clark, right? And I think Caitlin Clark and some of the pressure she might be feeling, I think there was a little bit of pressure for her to come back. And now that these two young ladies who just got hurt for the Fever, Sydney Colson, ACL, a left ACL tear, Ari McDonald, broken bone in the foot, set to miss the remainder of the 2025 season for the Fever. Do y'all think, in your opinion, that there's pressure for Caitlin Clark to come back soon or early because of these two young ladies who got hurt?
Is it pressure?
Yeah.
If it's pressure, it's not. I don't think it's coming from the WNBA. If it's pressure, it's coming from us as the media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because let's be honest. I mean, she comes back okay. And, she's back again. We need to start looking at Caitlin Clark as a WNBA player and not one of those great superstars that everybody needs to watch every day, because that's what's going to end up happening to her. She's going to end up getting hurt again. They need to start treating her like she's a WNBA player and have her being conditioned the way she needs to be in condition and have her play the way she wants to play. You rush her back because you want to keep growing the league and the viewership is down when she's not there and the ticket sales are down when she's not there. That means you're trying to move the WNBA forward on the back of her. And then that means you don't have a good product. Okay, let's be honest. You don't have a good product if you do that. If you try to move your league on the back of one person, okay, you don't have a good product. And the WNBA is starting to feel that situation, and if they rush her back and she's not ready, and then she goes down, especially if she goes down for like 6 or 7 months, they're shooting themselves in the foot. So, if I'm the WNBA, I'm like, no. She comes back when the doctors say she comes back. She comes back when she's ready to come back. And what we deal with while she's out is what we deal with. We just got to come up with a way to make more stars. We got to come up with a way to do a better marketing scheme. And we just got to figure it out until she gets back and be 100%. Because Caitlin Clark at 75%, it just won't help the league. Won't help the team.
Well, anytime she step on the court, it helps because people watch, regardless of how she performs. But I don't think there's no pressure on her to come back earlier. She puts more pressure on herself because she just loves to play. But I think the pressure falls on Indiana. What they're going to do now? The last thing you want to do is rush her back out there and damage her completely and ruin the cash cow. So I don't think there's no pressure on her per se. I don't think she's feeling no kind of peer pressure or anything else, because she's always anxious. She always want to get back out there. It has nothing to do with what just happened. She was feeling anxiety weeks ago. She just always wants to play.
And no, go ahead, Clay. You said, but what?
No, but I just think right now the pressure is falling on the Indiana Fever organization and the coaching staff and things like that, because you in playoff contention. Now you got to try not to fall out of it, because right now you really don't have a point guard. You have no point guard at this point.
So and see, even before Ari McDonald was hurt, right?
And
you see Caitlin Clark she said she wanted to go to even the away games, and that just reminded me of when Michael Jordan broke his foot. Like Michael Jordan. They more so didn't want Michael Jordan to play, but he wanted to be out there. So you got to assume that, like competitors like that, they want to be out there with their, with their teammates, helping and contributing. And so now that's why I said with these two young ladies getting hurt, and people will be like, well, we need you.
And I did a video this morning about this. Now, for all the Indiana Fever fans that's been complaining about Stephanie White taking the ball out of her hand. See, that's one thing that nobody can stop. You cannot stop what's destined to be. If this young lady is designed to play basketball a certain way and her love for the game, you see how things have a way of working out. If she comes back healthy, guess what? Stephanie White ain't got no choice but to keep the ball in that girl's hand. And Stephanie White ain't going to have a choice but to allow that girl to play her style of basketball and be free, because she has no other option.
Right. Let me Kent, thanks for the super chat. Kent says imagine if CC went raw and her true media wise.
Yeah.
I think as Caitlin Clark, though, I think the way she's handled the media and the attention that she got, I think she should be commended because she had plenty of opportunities. You know what I mean? With the mic in her face and questions and stuff to be asked, she had plenty of opportunities to do like some of the other young ladies in the WNBA, just say something that's off code, off script, and something that's, she even walked a tightrope when it comes to not really pissing off like some of her supporters that she really probably not in agreement with their line or their take, but she even handling them in a way where as though they can't really come at her too hard because she don't go for everything that everybody say, but she not really pissing them off either. So seemed like she had some media training. You know what I mean? Or she got somebody in her corner who is instructing her as to how to handle certain situations and certain questions.
I remember after the national championship game against LSU, I seen her do an interview because they wanted to talk to her about the Angel Reese thing. And when she got done with that interview, they said her hands were shaking. And she called her coach and she was like, "Is that all right?" Because she understood if she said one wrong thing, how it could impact her whole thing. So I think when she got thrown in the fire then, that prepared her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then moving forward, she's just growing into it.
So that's a really good point that you make. I'm glad you said that, right? Because she didn't take that situation for granted. You know what I mean? She recognized like how important it is, like how important it is to say and do the right things publicly. Whereas though you have some women, some young ladies who just think that just because a mic is in their face, that like they have to say like whatever's on their mind without forethought, or even, you know what I mean, like, and then so when they find themselves in these type of situations, man, it's just crazy. It don't make no sense to me. And
but she was determined. She was determined not to chastise Angel or criticize it or make Angel look like a bad person. She said, "This is part of what we do." So yeah.
Let me see what my man Jim said. Quick note: tomorrow, I'm turning into the villain. What Jim got?
Hey Jim, you can't take my spot, man. Come on now. I like playing that villain role, man. Come on, Jim.
See, that's not like Jim, man. I want to know now. I'm
curious. What do you mean? What you mean by that?
What Jim got lined up?
Jim want to play that villain.
Anna says that I heard Howard was going to be the new PG. What is
Sweetheart? They got Sweetheart. They'll probably put the ball in Sophie hands, Kelsey hands. Let them bring it up. I doubt very seriously they want to put that ball in Natasha Howard hands and have her get them in and out of the offense.
Anna. Yeah. I'm sorry, Anna. Yeah. Because she don't pass at all.
Yeah,
she never seen, Howard.
Natasha Howard.
Yeah. She like to shoot. Ken, thanks for the super chat and you welcome, man. Thank you for your perspective. She said she's joking.
I know. I figured that.
Yeah, she got me. I was like, whoa. Howard gonna be the point guard?
Hey, Sweetheart, I don't put it past Stephanie White though. She out there trying any and everything. Don't get me wrong, she found something that worked a little bit, but I'm just saying she was trying all kinds of different things throughout the year. Yeah.
All right, so let me ask y'all this, right? Yesterday we saw what do y'all think about that Sheduer's his performance yesterday in the preseason game? Do y'all think that Sheduer is it's being blown out of proportion, all the attention and everything that they giving Sheduer, like, you know what I mean, almost like he just won a Super Bowl or something like that? Or do you think like the attention is warranted?
Yeah. They did exactly what the media does. They putting all this spotlight on this young man like he won the Super Bowl, yo. And it's gonna come back to bite us. Sheduer's a good quarterback, but he's a young quarterback, so it's gonna take time for him to develop. You know, it's gonna take time for him to make them NFL throws and everything. But when we celebrate in the media, the way we celebrating what Sheduer did yesterday, we setting this kid up to fail. You know what I'm saying? We setting his haters up to get ammo, and as soon as he has that one bad game, they're gonna go in on him like they went on him when he got drafted. You know what I'm saying? And we shouldn't do this to this young man. You know what I'm saying? His accomplishments was great. You know, he had a good game, but but that's expected of him. He's an NFL quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He's expected to have good games. We shouldn't celebrate when he has a good preseason game playing against, most of the defense that won't make the team. But yet here we go. You know, we cheering him, we celebrating him. Celebrities are like, "Oh, look at Sheduer. We told you he was what he was," and we're setting this kid up, man. It's crazy how we're doing it. And I understand the fact that we love him. You know, we want to see him succeed, but let him succeed at his own pace. You know what I'm saying? Let him fail a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let him, let him be the quarterback that most people, because I don't know quarterback come out and just do their thing right away. It's rare and not often that you see a quarterback start his rookie season and come out blazing and be a great quarterback from beginning to end.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is rare, but let me say this, right? Because he was drafted in the 5th round, like his margin for error, like if you get drafted, you number 1 overall, and you get drafted and you come out and you stink it up in the first game of preseason, you most likely you definitely gonna get a second bite at the apple, right? But because he was drafted in the 5th round, I think that like people was like, this might be it's either do or die. You know what I mean? He in a position where it's do or die.
Yeah, he's the 4th-string quarterback on the team. You know what that performance did for him yesterday? It gave him another bite at the apple again. You know what I'm saying? That's what that performance did. And that's what it should do where he is on the depth chart. You know what I'm saying? It gave him another opportunity to look even better and better. But what we do, we blow it up like he just won a damn Super Bowl. Everybody talking about him. You see what he just did? Oh my God. And we're setting that kid up, man. I just hate the way we do it, man. I understand we want him to win. And I love Deion. You know, I come from the era of watching Deion be one of the greatest cornerbacks out there. But his son just needs to take time, man. We did the same thing to his son in college. You know what I'm saying? We anointed him. Oh, he should be the first quarterback pick. He should have been this and he should have been that. But the problem in the kids, the real people that make those decisions, understood what his career was like. You know what I'm saying? We just saw it as his career being, oh, look at, he's just making the passes and everything, but he's not playing he didn't play against the Alabamas. He didn't play against the LSUs. He didn't play against the Ohio States. You know what I'm saying? So it takes time for him to develop these skills. And I just wish that the media, backs off of him just a tad bit. You know what I'm saying? Hey. We can celebrate his wins, Joe, but we ain't got to treat it like he just won the Super Bowl.
They got all the ex-athletes in the media, from Shady McCoy to Brian
Clark. Emmitt Smith was talking about it. It's just a lot of
Michael, all these guys, celebrities, everybody is celebrating this thing to the nth degree.
Right.
You know, and it's just crazy to me, but I will say, it's a great narrative. So here again, I don't think Cleveland gonna get rid of him. I think the whole thing is really about WWF in this thing, creating a story, because this is great content. This is a great story. You got the whole team didn't want me, nobody wanted me. You know what I'm saying? And redemption, one of the greatest stories ever sold to the consumer is the story of redemption. That's why the story of Christ is so powerful. These things move people. And now you setting this kid up with this beautiful story. And I think the media types are in on it as well. And they all celebrating this thing and they cussing the owner's name and all this other stuff. Now you got a video going viral of him and the black GM on the sideline talking. It's just all made for this television, man. It's all made for entertainment.
Yeah, it is theater. It is definitely theater.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. This is football. This is not theater.
But actually, it's both. Actually, it's both, man.
This is a real life situation.
It's both, man. It's both.
But see, that's the problem, and that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. It shouldn't be both.
Well, that's how the NFL has so much success, because it is both. It goes all the way back to Broadway Joe when he predicted the upset against the Colts. That shit was staged. That's theater.
Broadway Joe was an established player.
That's not my point.
But that's my point. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
But all I'm
Sheduer isn't that superstar that everybody's talking about.
No, but what I'm saying is they building this story. That's a great story. That's theater. So guess what you think's going to happen with Sheduer? He's going to overcome. He's going to succeed. Watch what I'm telling you.
No. See, that's the problem. We thinking that's what he's going to do because that's the narrative of what the story has to be to make it a great story. But the problem is, just like we thought he was going to go in the first round. The football, the real life part of the story always kicks in because it's real life. What if Sheduer doesn't make the team?
I think him not going in the first round is part of the story and the theatrics.
What I'm telling you, what I'm saying to you is this, okay? We set the story up. He should go in the first round, him and Travis Hunter.
No, the media set that story up, and the public bought into it.
The media is setting the whole thing.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're setting the story up where this young man, if he succeeds, is a great story.
Yes. Now,
if he fails, it's a great story.
Let me ask you this, man. Every single draft in recent years always have some kind of controversial thing that happened, right or wrong.
What was controversial last year?
Somebody not going where they should have went and stuff like that.
No. Wasn't controversial last year. What happened this year was only controversial because we said that Sheduer Sanders was a good enough quarterback to go in the first round.
But look, man,
that's the only
point.
Huh?
That's why in the thumbnail I have Sheduer Sanders listed as an underdog, right? So throughout history, we love those underdog stories. We love to see people persevere. And even Caitlin Clark she's an underdog. She's somebody who people want to see persevere. You know, so
Mike, let me ask you a question. Let's make up our minds. Before Sheduer got hit in the 5th round, he was an underdog pick, and everybody was picking him to be the first quarterback taken.
Well, because of the twists and turns. Of the story,
So you changed the narrative because of what the real football eyes said he was. So he went from the top. He went from the top quarterback, and before the draft started, to now he got picked up in the 5th round. So now he's an underdog. Which is it?
No, well, even when you read a book, books have, you know what I mean. They have twists and turns in them, right? So, when this guy
listen. We did that. The media did that. The NFL, the people at NFL that watches the NFL that makes those decisions, they never said Sheduer was a top pick.
The media works for the NFL.
No, the media doesn't work for the NFL.
Yes, it does.
The media doesn't work for the NFL.
Yes, it does. It works for the entity.
Work for the NFL.
The media works for the entity that's behind the NFL.
So you're trying to say the ESPN works for the NFL?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. See now,
you know why they do? You know why they do? You know why they do?
Why?
You know why they do? Because they've invested so much money in the NFL to air their games. So they are working in conjunction to promote the sport.
With basketball. They do it bad. They had nothing. That don't mean they work for them. That's news. ESPN is news.
So
they report on the situation.
And listen, the controversy for last year's draft was Atlanta taking Mike Pence, even though they had just signed Kirk Cousins. That was the controversy last year. It might not be as big as Sheduer's, but every single draft year is something.
I didn't say last year. I knew what the controversy last. I'm talking about the year before that.
You asked me what was the controversy last year.
Huh? Hey. Sheduer was the controversy last year.
Yeah.
That Mike Pence getting taken when they just signed Kirk Cousins. That was the story. They always need a story around the draft. Go ahead.
All right. Let me somebody in the chat. I said that Caitlin Clark was an underdog, right?
Yeah.
And so somebody, Dexter, I'm not, because Dexter used profanity in his response, right? I'm not going to post it, but I am going to address, and I want Dexter to respond, right? He said that Caitlin Clark ain't no effing underdog, right? And so, to me, I think Caitlin Clark, because when you have a Caucasian young lady, a white young lady, who is coming to a league who is 70% African American, having the kind of like that right there is just not something that people probably would have seen coming, right? And especially when they try, when they say that she should be the star of the league, like people never really saw that coming. And so to me, that's
see that coming.
No, I'm just saying, right. who would have wrote a script that somebody out of Iowa would blow up the way Caitlin Clark blew up? It's almost like what happened, like with the story about Rudy, right? I do think that some people see Caitlin Clark as an underdog, a white girl from Iowa coming to the WNBA and being the face of the league.
Yeah,
that's the same thing with Larry Bird.
You act like Caitlin Clark didn't put up numbers in college.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
I'm not talking about her performance. Yeah. I'm talking about even before. I'm not talking about her performance at school. I'm just saying, like, that is an unlikely story.
How?
It wasn't, Mike. I gotta agree with the chat. I gotta agree with the chat, Mike.
A small college, like a small school like that.
When you're the number one,
what small school did she come from?
Iowa's not a small school.
Iowa's not a small school.
That's not a small school.
How many basketball players come from like Iowa?
Right. It wasn't no huge women's basketball program, but they have had success. That's not a small school. But I gotta agree with the chat a little bit, Mike. When you're the number one overall draft pick, the expectations of Caitlin was so high that made Taurasi tell everybody, pump your fucking brakes. So I don't think she was being viewed as an underdog at all. They were saying this girl gonna change the league.
I'm talking about that was from the beginning, all the way from where she came from.
But my question is, look at Larry Bird. Let's do the same example. Look at the school he went to. They still knew he was great in college.
Yeah.
Right,
it's like the underdog story doesn't start from your performance. If you're the number one pick, you're not an underdog. You know what an underdog, in my opinion, an underdog is somebody that doesn't have a great college career, comes in and barely makes a team, and then blows up to a superstar. That's an underdog.
That's an underdog. Yeah.
You know, Mr. Irrelevant. Prime example, Tom Brady. Prime example. Gets picked in the 6th round, doesn't even start when he gets there, but when he gets the opportunity, now he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
That's an underdog story.
That was an underdog story. Tom Brady was an underdog story. Yeah.
He came from Michigan.
It's the same thing. Tom Brady
Tom Brady wasn't. He got picked in the 6th round.
6th round.
I know where he got picked at.
And he wasn't the main quarterback at Michigan either.
No, he wasn't. But he came from a big school, so he could be an underdog too, just like she can be an underdog.
But Tom is an underdog.
Yes.
And I ain't say Tom Brady, like Tom Brady, they wasn't expecting Tom Brady to turn out the way he turned out.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Right. That's what we're saying.
He came from Michigan too, though, right?
Yes.
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 So why, if he could come from Michigan and be an underdog, why can't she come from Iowa and be an underdog?
Because she's the number one pick.
Yeah, it's because
I know
good.
But
she
she
worked
changed.
her way. Hold up. What other kid comes from Iowa, Nebraska, or any of those? And like who you say, well, all right, usually when you have a basketball player and you think that they're gonna be big in college, or you think they're gonna be big in the league, they don't come from these small towns like that.
Let me ask you a question. Where do you think basketball? Where do you think basketball started from? The concept of basketball started from the Midwest.
In Indiana.
Yeah. Right. That's where the concept of basketball started.
They give Indiana the credit. Yeah.
Yes. So the point is, it's not where you're coming from. It's not even where you're going and where you're playing it. It's the expectations that you put down from your gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, let me ask you a question. Do you think Juju's going to go number one?
I don't know.
Yes. If she comes back healthy and does what she do, yes.
Okay. Do you think she's an underdog?
No.
No.
And the reason that you don't think she's an underdog because her game says it. Her game tells you she's not an underdog. Her game tells you that she's good.
Juju's story is different from Caitlin Clark's story. Do you know that, right?
Yes.
What is different about it?
They come from two totally different backgrounds.
But see, Mike, here's the thing with Caitlin. Let me step in for 1 second. We weren't aware of Caitlin, but where Caitlin was from and what she was doing, everybody knew this girl was a phenom. There's nothing underdog about it. We just weren't aware of her. When you go to Iowa, she was the talk. It's just like here in Baltimore, when you talk about Sam and the Skips and all, she was that in her time. She was highly recruited. She had a choice between Notre Dame and Iowa. And all. She wasn't no underdog. You understand? Just because she comes from a small place, she was one of the biggest high school basketball players in the country. She also played on the U.S. national team as a high schooler with Paige Beckers and stuff. So it's nothing about her story is an underdog at all.
Hey, just like that, I want to tell you another example. The guy that just got drafted #1 from Duke, okay? He came from a very small town. Nobody really knew who he was except for people that lived in that area. That's why he wasn't really highly recruited. But Duke picked him up. The #1 pick.
Oh, the guy.
Yeah, Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers didn't know who he was. You didn't even know who Cooper Flag was.
Yeah.
Who didn't know?
But where he played, but where he come from, everybody probably knew him.
They knew, right? They knew because they had a documentary. They knew who he was.
Yeah.
They knew he was great. They said he was going to be a great star. He went to Duke. We really didn't know who he was because he wasn't highly recruited. And now look at him. He's the #1 pick.
Yeah. So let me see. Dexter says that Caitlin is overrated, right? And so some people do feel like Caitlin is overrated, and with Dexter saying that, right? Let me see. Dexter said that Caitlin is overrated, and with Dexter saying that, that leads me to this post right here. Like Jeff T had like a little run-in with what's the lady now? I just
Nancy Lieberman. Nancy Lieberman. Yeah.
Jeff Teague says that the ball moves smoother, and the offense isn't as predictable without Caitlin Clark there. She ain't shooting all those wild-ass threes from half court. Jeff Teague claims that the Fever are a better team without
same old story. Yeah.
Without Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, I just think that everybody entitled to their opinion. All right, well, and so Dexter says that Angel Reese is an underdog. Do y'all consider Angel Reese being an underdog?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Especially coming from Baltimore, we knew who Angel Reese was.
Well, she had all that hype in the national.
She had all the hype at St. Francis.
In the national championship game, St. Francis, LSU, nothing about her story is underdog either.
Yeah, Angel Reese had hype before, you know, she's been hype.
I'll tell you what a good underdog story is, and she's not a star or nothing, but Kate Martin getting drafted, that's an underdog. and her to turn out and start develop. That's an underdog story. There's no expectation. She didn't even know she was going to get drafted. You know, that's just one example. But go ahead.
Yeah.
And Mike, I wanted to say something to you. I watched your video when you said that if CC would have played for Gino, and I just want to say something to you about that. First and foremost, Lisa Bluter deserves a ton of credit. First,
and I don't
more than anything, right? Right. And to say that Caitlin's game's not refined, I'd push back on that. I disagree with that to some degree. Also, Lisa Bluter understood she needed 3 shooters out there with Caitlin and just 1 true post player. And that's why they were so effective, because all those other girls could shoot. And now when you got Caitlin, she got so much gravity. This is why it was so effective, because she got Caitlin to buy into trusting her teammates, and these girls could knock down open shots. That's the great strategic assessment of that girl and what to put around her. Now, you said that Gino wouldn't give her the green light. She wouldn't have been able to shoot all them threes. It wouldn't have been necessary. I get that. But one thing you wouldn't have, if she'd have went to UConn, you wouldn't have this growth in the WNBA that you have now, because the stardom around Caitlin wouldn't be there. Everything that's going on with Caitlin, breaking the record and all that, was necessary for the WNBA to receive and have what it's having. So Gino could have possibly ruined all that by trying to force Caitlin into a certain system. And another thing, I don't think Caitlin Clark is the type person, regardless of how much you try to get her to fit into a box, she will never fit into a box, because it's not what she does. I just wanted to say that to you because I enjoyed your video. I just said, interesting. And it made me think about it. Go ahead.
So, Now, I said that if Caitlin Clark had to play for Gino, it would have changed her career in this way, right?
Yeah.
Just like when Michael Jordan went to North Carolina, he got to play with Dean Smith, right?
Yeah.
Now, just imagine if I said if Michael Jordan had to went to if Michael Jordan had to went to Kansas State or Texas, like Michael Beasley or Kevin Durant, he'd have been a focal point, and he'd have been able to. Michael Jordan would have been able to like tear the league up. He'd have been able to score at will and do what he wanted, right? But by him going to North Carolina and studying under Dean Smith, he learned the game more so than he would have. He learned more about the game than just shooting and scoring. So it's a difference in the education that he got by going to North Carolina than had he went to, like I said, if he'd went to Kansas State. And that's not to say that the coaches at Kansas State or Texas not good coaches.
Right.
But you don't
at that time, Dean Smith was the best though.
Hold up, man. Like you don't have the same amount of talent around those guys. So Michael Jordan could have been the focal point at Texas. He would have been the focal point at Kansas State. But when you got other 5-star ball players around you, you got to play the game differently.
Let's be clear though. Michael was the focal point at North Carolina. He just wasn't his freshman year. He won 2 NCAA Player of the Year awards twice in a row. He was the focal point once he became the sophomore and junior. And Michael has a skill set that allowed him to do certain things within Dean Smith's system. Caitlin's not Michael. Caitlin has a defensive style that's unique to her. She can play defense, but she plays it a certain way. Ain't nothing Gino can do can make her or remake her into something. This is why I believe Gino didn't recruit her, because I will give him credit. He understands how to assess talent, and he knows what's going to fit his system. But I don't think anybody can change what she does. If they do, she won't be who she is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But Gino is he's a great assessor. He makes great assessment of talent, you know?
Yeah.
I think he's a pretty good coach too.
Who?
Yeah. Gino?
Yeah.
Good coach. Yeah, he a very good coach. But Lisa Bluder is a very good coach.
She's a very good coach too.
Very good coach, right?
Yep.
So Lisa Bluder and anybody that was at Iowa while Caitlin Clark was there would have probably coached her or did a lot of the same things that Lisa Bluder did too.
I disagree.
And
I disagree.
Wow, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you one genius thing Lisa Bluder did, and I've never heard anybody approach the game this way and the leader this way. She made Caitlin work with a sports psychologist to watch film on the way she reacts when shit don't go right. And show her how that was impacting the players around her. That was pure genius.
Yeah, I mean, she's not the only coach, you know.
Well, that's the first time I've heard of that.
Yeah, I just think that I'm saying that the way she coached, when you only have one 5-star athlete on your team, then you know what I mean. Then you have to do and allow you able to you know, you have to be able to, you're in a position where you have to live with the pros and the cons of having that one 5-star athlete. Whereas though if you have 5 athletes, then you can do, you know, you got a little bit more leeway, a little bit more margin for error.
But she did get Caitlin to trust her teammates. She did get Caitlin to play a certain style that was going to lift those other girls up. That's cool. That's good coach.
Yeah, no doubt. Because of her talent.
Right.
Because of her talent.
Yeah.
And let's say this, right? Now, everybody who would have had Caitlin Clark in college, they may have blew it to a point where Caitlin was able to elevate the people around her, right? Whereas though some people would have had her and wouldn't have put her in a position where she could elevate her teammates. They would have just tried to, you know, ride the wave, and it wouldn't have worked out that way.
Right. Lisa was strategic. She was intentional with putting 4 shooters on the court and a big. She was intentional with that.
Yeah.
Let
me see. Heart to Heart says that Teague said that so he could get clicks on his page, and it worked.
I tell you what, man. I'm gonna say this to you. If you ain't a great player, you know, your assessment of what great is, you know, it's a little, I question it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you said if you're not a great player?
Yeah. I mean, he can only recognize greatness through his lens.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But
Jeff Teague?
Yeah, but when you talk to other greats that's watched this young lady play, they think she's great.
Yeah, and part of what Jeff Teague was saying too, I think he was like, he think that she's a really, really good player, but I think he also said that he think that she has a way to go before she be great. So that's you know, I don't think that he says that she hasn't arrived yet.
See, that's our problem with that word great. You know what I'm saying? You got to earn greatness. You know what I'm saying? We just can't give you that title. You know what I'm saying? And she's played a good game. You know, her game has been, you know, critiqued but to say that she's great, you know, only time will tell that. You know what I'm saying? That word is judged by time. That word is not just because if Caitlin Clark gets hurt today and can't play basketball no more, will we consider her one of the great players? Maybe not.
I'm watching what she's doing. You know how I feel. You know how I feel. I watch
the one thing that we can put beside Caitlin Clark's name, though, game changer. We can put that beside her name. Wherever she does between now and the rest of her WNBA career, we cannot take away the fact that she changed the environment of the WNBA.
Yeah. So, I also believe she's great. When you shoot from that range like that, and you impact the game like that, I don't care if her career ends tomorrow. That was greatness. It ain't about winning championships for me. It's great. It's great. That's greatness.
That's I'm totally opposite side.
I understand.
For me, greatness comes with championships, comes from winning and all that stuff. You can be a good player, but to be considered a great player, you gotta have, for me, accomplishments that go with that status.
Well,
So
here again, you got to have the team around you to be able to do that. That don't mean you're not great.
Well, if you don't win nothing, you ain't got that argument if you don't win nothing.
Like I said, when the day you show me a player that plays all 5 positions at one time and wins a title like that, that's when you can say it's about what you do. One player does not dictate a championship. It just does. It can have a strong impact.
I'm sorry.
It has a strong impact.
No. Michael Jordan's prime example.
No, Mike had a strong impact.
He leaves, they don't win. He comes back, they win.
He has an impact. But if John Paxson don't hit all those wide open jump shots, if Steve Kerr don't hit if Scottie Pippen don't do it, if Dennis Rodman don't grab these rebounds, if they don't play defense like they play, all of this comes together. If Phil Jackson doesn't coach the team like he did, none of this stuff happens.
Listen to what I'm saying. He's there, they win 3. He leaves, they win none.
We understand that.
He comes back, he wins 3.
Yes.
That right there is the definition of being the great player. That's
okay, now I'm going to say this to you. Before they ever won a title, he comes in the league. He averages 37 a game. He wins Defensive Player of the Year, MVP. That's greatness. They didn't win anything, but that's greatness.
Okay. He didn't win anything. Will we be talking about Michael Jordan as being the great player if he didn't win anything? Absolutely not. No.
I think we would.
Everybody's narrative begins with Michael Jordan 1-6. There's nobody's narrative saying in Michael Jordan's first 5 years he did this, that, and other thing. Nobody's narrative starts like that.
That's a media narrative. That's a media narrative.
Everybody's narrative.
No, it's not. It's everybody who has brought into that media narrative. That's everybody that's been conditioned by that narrative.
Listen, you go back to anybody that's talking about Michael Jordan. Nobody starts Michael Jordan's career off with his first 5 years. Nobody starts.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I've seen in recent times. I've seen so many people do videos and content on his time in the 80s, and they say why Mike was the GOAT way before he won. If you look at him in the 80s, he was unbelievable.
I guarantee you can't pull that up right now. You can't pull those conversations up right now because those conversations.
All you gotta do is go on YouTube. There's so much video content out there on it.
Listen, when anybody argues about LeBron, argues about Jordan, argues about Magic, argues about Bird, argues about any of the greats, the first thing they talk about is the accomplishments of their championship. I'm
not taking that away from you, but it's not anybody. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that's got video content out, and the story is how great Mike was in the 80s. And Larry Bird himself said it after playing him. Listen what Larry Bird said. He's better than everybody else in the league. Chuck Daly said this guy's embarrassing the league. He comes up with Jordan rules. Larry Bird saying he's God disguised as Michael Jordan. All I'm saying to you is that's greatness to me.
Again, nobody brings up Michael Jordan's first 5 years in the league when they talk about how great he is.
I just told you people are. They've made video content on it.
They're not. Bring it up. They're not. No one
I just told you they are. I've watched videos on it.
Listen, this is how you're sounding. Well, Michael Jordan is the GOAT because the first 5 years, he was the greatest scorer on the planet.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. This is what I said. Man, this is what I said. Scoring champ, defensive player of the year. When you take those two things together, that's greatness. And ever since he walked into the Bulls organization, they never missed the playoffs.
Again, Magic Johnson, since he walked into the Lakers, he won the championship.
But they had Hall of Famers there waiting on him.
You just said it. You just you
They
proving
had
my
Hall of
point.
Famers there
You
waiting on them.
proving my point.
That's
That's
my
what I'm trying to
point.
tell
No,
you.
man, that's my point. You can't take somebody's greatness away because the team around
I
them
didn't
is
listen.
not
I didn't
equipped
listen.
enough to win a title.
I didn't take anybody's greatness away from them. What I'm
You
trying to
said if
tell
you
you
don't
is
win enough, you ain't great.
no. My whole point is this. I'm not trying to take his greatness away from him. What I'm trying to tell you is championships. What you do in your career is what determines your greatness.
All right, I'm gonna
That's
go
what I'm
back to
trying
the
to
old
say.
argument.
And what I'm saying, from what I'm hearing, and if I'm wrong, let me know. But what I'm hearing is you're trying to say Michael Jordan in his first 5 years, everybody was saying he was the greatest. And what I'm saying, listen, and what I'm saying is nobody says that when they talk about the GOAT conversation.
Well,
no one talks about in the beginning his first 5 years. What they talk about his 6 championships.
I'm gonna give you 2 people that said he was better than anybody else and the best player.
Again,
I'm gonna give you something. You said nobody. Didn't you say nobody,
you're not
man?
listening. You're not listening. I didn't say nobody doesn't agree with what you're saying.
No, you said
I'm
nobody
saying
was saying it.
No, listen. I said when they say the GOAT, nobody mentions Jordan's first 5 years. The first narrative.
I agree with you.
The first
I agree with
they
you on
say
that. I
is
agree with
Michael
you.
Jordan won 6 rings.
I agree with you. Most people don't because everybody has bought into this narrative that championships define it. Now, what I'm saying to you is, Bobby Knight said he was the best player I've ever seen play ever. Chuck Daly said the guy's better than everybody. He's embarrassing the league. Larry Bird said he's better than everybody. I'm just saying, I'm not the only one that has this opinion.
Hold up. And I say Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time.
I do too.
Okay. But I'm basing my stuff on from the beginning of this guy won 6 championships.
And I don't. That's just where we
and I understand that. But when you're making an argument, championships matter.
All right, man. Let me get back to the chat. We could go on about Michael Jordan.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. We could go on about Michael Jordan all day.
Yeah.
All right.
Heart to heart, man. That's what we do.
Heart to Heart said that back to our conversation about Gino, right? Heart to Heart said, well, Gino said that Caitlin wasn't going to be good in the W. Well, he was wrong about that, just like his player Diana was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, both of them did not expect Caitlin Clark to, I guess they just thought that she was just going to be like, like a lot of the other rookies who came into the league and found out that the league was a little bit more physical and better than what they thought it was, and so, but she wasn't, she wasn't what they thought she was even.
And you can listen to Gino's breakdown about her when he did this Dan Patrick show. This is how I know he didn't want her. Because when he did the assessment of her, he was saying she's the wrong body type. She's not fast enough to see. He assesses talent per his system. So, he would have never recruited her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What my man Kent Carlson says, let me see. Who is and puts, let me see, we put consumer butts in the seats right now. Can your bottom show tell me the facts? Let me see, ABD stats at the bottom line. What is ABD stats? Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark is no doubt she definitely box office. In my opinion, I think that Caitlin Clark is like what they said she was going to be, as far as like, you know what I mean? Like, she is, how sometimes when people come, first round draft picks, she is what she was built out to be, and people can't deny that. I think anybody trying to deny that right now is just really just being, I don't know, like somebody like Jeff Teague, when he make the kind of statements that he made, like maybe it is just for clicks and views. When he says that, and like you said, she is just, like Clayton said, that he's just viewing it from his perspective. I don't know, but from a fan's perspective, what I see in Caitlin Clark is like she the real deal. you know, and definitely she put butts in the seats, you know.
And you know what's interesting too? I'm seeing everybody, they coming out and they just critiquing her and saying, oh, she ain't this and her game ain't that and she needs to this, that, and the other. And they basing it off an injury-riddled season. They forgetting about last season and they acting like she's just a big sample size of this season. And they're already determining that she's a bust or this ain't this or she's overrated. The girl came into the league this season with a quad injury. You know, Mike, you're a shooter. You shoot with your legs, hands, fingers, wrists. You need your legs to shoot.
That just proved that like some people was just waiting for something like this to happen anyway. And then so, you know, you can be like, well, I told you so. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's, I told y'all, you know.
I think it's impressive what she's been doing on a bum leg. Me personally, and the physicality. She's fine. She found ways.
Yeah. Yes.
You know?
Yeah, but he definitely got some pushback from Nancy Lieberman.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, she said that he was serviceable as a you know, as an NBA player. But yeah, and so Anna said that you know, having a groin injury, I can see why she's been having a hard time.
Yeah.
When I had a groin injury, man, you can't cut, you can't, you know, you can't jump. Yeah, groin injuries definitely affect your mobility, and like Clay said, if you're a shooter, you got a groin injury, you can you know, you can kiss the baby on that one because you're not gonna be able to function with no groin injury.
Yeah, and everybody seems to miss that point. They miss that. They don't, you know. So I get it though, because people just been waiting.
Yeah. Let me see. Caitlin is the only player in the W that these kids has in a long line of to get her autograph. She's just that something about her that no one has played in the W, and it is what it is. Music mindset. I think that's a great point, and that goes back to like what we were saying at the beginning of the show when like treat your fan base. You know what I mean? Like appreciate your fan base. And you know, that's why, you know, like people coming down so hard on Donna Taurasi. You know, and some of the statements that she made, like about the janitors and stuff like that. Like, be respectful of your fan base. People who wait in long lines to get autographs and stuff like that, like Music Mindset said, you know, it's just counterproductive in my, you know, even if you want to be the antagonist or you want to be somebody who get, you know, who stir things up, that part of it right there don't make sense to me though. Yeah. So yeah. Oh man. So now football yesterday, man. Like, when is your Cowboys? How you think? How your Cowboys gonna be looking, man?
Like shit. You know, I'm just gonna break it down. You know, we're gonna be bad.
Yeah. This where man going?
Is that Stevie Wonder?
That's Dak Prescott.
But is that Stevie Wonder face?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Oh man hung up. Man, I wonder.
No, he's still here on audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
man. I just think that let me see what Kent Carlson said about what Kent got to say. Like, women are built different in the groin area than men. 35% of men 35%, women 65%, they give to the gift of life. Yeah, that's true. I definitely wouldn't be trying to try to figure out, you know, the groin area as far as like how much of their groin they use, like in the actual mechanics of when it comes to shooting. I just know that like when I had a groin injury, I couldn't, you know, I couldn't move, I couldn't shoot, I couldn't cut. It's just hard. It's just hard. But is man not in there? Is he? Oh no, he's
gone now.
Yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
Like out of any of the teams that you watched yesterday, Clayton, like what did you see?
I didn't watch any. I just see highlights. I was asleep. I didn't watch any. Yeah. I saw the highlights of Sheduer. And I did like the first series. They let Joe Burrow and them play against Philly. And I thought that series they were in, they looked good. I thought you know who looked good, surprisingly, more athletic than I thought? Drake May from New England, the quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he moved around real well in the pocket and stuff. But yeah, I didn't see much. Too much.
Man, I was just happy that football was back, right? It's hard to, it's hard to really assess talent. Like y'all say, when some of the guys that we watching now not even really going to be there on the teams, and some of the guys are not really they not really up to NFL. But the point you made, Clayton, about the passes that Sheduer, like I don't care who on the field, like when you can get that ball into a small area, man.
Yes.
That kind of accuracy, I thought that was cool. That was encouraging for Sheduer, his accuracy.
I like his pocket presence. I know he took a few bad sacks, or he got ran out. He tried to throw it away, but I think his pocket presence is pretty good. Shit.
Yeah. Hold on, let me say what Music Mindset said. That's cold on Dak, man. I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm feeling optimistic for them this season, and I'll see how it goes. Yeah, man. Man, how you feel? Man, you ain't never say how you was feeling about the Cowboys this season. Music Mindset said he feel optimistic.
And as long as we have our owner, our president, our GM, and everything else calling the shots, we ain't got no chance of hell. So we holding off on our best defensive player. We don't want to pay him. Like it doesn't make any sense. So I'm optimistic that hopefully we can get a good draft pick for next year.
Man, do you really think they're not going to pay Micah? Don't they do the same thing all the time?
I don't really think they will, but it's a possibility.
Okay.
Shit happens. It's a possibility.
This is just what Dallas do.
Right. This is what we do.
Yeah.
But the problem is Michael Parsons on the last year of his contract.
Oh.
So, that's
so if they don't extend them, then that means they maybe gonna move off of him.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Because he's on the last year of his contract.
And even if they don't, they might have pissed him off to the point where as though he just really want to be out of there anyway.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so
Jerry Jones told y'all this shit ain't nothing but negotiations. He ain't phased by that comment, that trade talk. I want to be good. Jerry ain't phased. Jerry know what he doing. He said, I love this media circus around my team. What?
He is definitely a businessman. You know what I mean? It's all business for him. Definitely a businessman. So, who plays today in the NFL?
I have no idea.
Damn, somebody.
Man should be all over that, man.
This man.
Yeah, preseason doesn't get me
for real
excited. I'm excited that football is back, but preseason is the way to cut down preseason. Most teams now play the guys that they know that's not going to make their team. They just doing it because you have to play the game.
I'll give you some rundown, Mike. You got the Texans and Vikings. They play the day at 4. The Steelers play the Jaguars today. The Cowboys play the Rams tonight. The Titans play the Bucks, and the Jets play the Packers tonight. So there you go. There's some games. That's some games. Actually, the Chiefs and Cardinals go at it. The Broncos and 49ers go at it. So you got some games.
Yeah.
But preseason, like man said, preseason don't do nothing for me.
Music Mindset says that I want Sheduer to succeed. I want Sheduer to succeed. But there's a lot of football left to play. It's one game, but he did really well. And I think another thing I noticed, like Joe Flacco, him and Joe Flacco, it seems like if he can get some, like Joe Flacco to be like some mentorship for Joe Flacco seemed like he was kind of encouraging to when it came to Sheduer. So that'd be good, man. All the encouragement that he could get, I think will be good for him.
Well, let me ask you a question. How much more mentorship do you need when Tom Brady was mentoring you?
Well, but Tom Brady is not, Tom Brady not there right now, though. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. According to that situation, that relationship, he did some work with Sheduer.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you can get Tom Brady to any type of knowledge that he could drop on you, far as like the quarterback position. Yeah.
And you don't think they're still not texting?
Huh?
The big part about that whole situation is this: he needs playing time.
Yeah,
that's the biggest teacher of everything is playing time. If they give him playing time, he can develop. Right now, what Cleveland was doing before this preseason game, he was getting 3-4 reps per practice, which is absolutely nothing.
Wait a minute, 4 reps. Four reps. That means like 4 plays.
Yes, I mean like 4 plays.
Yeah, he wasn't getting no reps.
He's number 4 on the depth chart.
Yeah,
and the only reason he played yesterday is because 2 and 3 got hurt.
They was injured. Yep. At least that's the story. But I'm listening.
Right, and so it ain't like he went in there and earned the play yesterday and everything. Flacco's not going to play because he's the number 1, and the other 2 got hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they only brought Tyler Huntley in to spell Sheduer in this game. Like they just signed him for a camp arm. A lot of people was puzzled by that, but it makes sense.
Yeah. When you put it that way, but I think like what you said though, Clayton. Like if it's meant for him to be, then it's going to be. Like really nobody really can't stand in the way. So if it take for 2 or 3 people to go down for him to get in there, then that's what's going to happen. 2 or 3 people going to go down. 2 people going to get hurt. What's the other guy name? What's the other quarterback that was there? They gave that big contract to
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Watson. Watson probably won't be there.
Yeah, I heard they're gonna put him on the pup list, unable to perform or something. Yeah, he's gonna be on that all year, and then next year they can get rid of some of his salary. They won't take a big hit against the cap or something. So they got a plan to get out of Deshaun Watson situation.
What do you think, man? Is like as far as Deshaun Watson, like what you foresee, like as far as his career, like for the rest of his career? You think it's over with after this?
Nah, somebody will pick him up.
So?
Nah, somebody pick him up.
I think he's done.
Deshaun Watson can be a backup somewhere. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the problem with Deshaun Watson is his contract. That's the problem with Deshaun Watson. Everybody is not Deshaun Watson and his production on the field. Deshaun Watson contract is what brings a problem to teams. You remove that contract from Deshaun Watson, he can easily be anybody's backup. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, he would be a great backup at the Ravens because he plays like Lamar. You don't have to change the game for him. But but he'll be a backup somewhere. They won't release that. I mean, Cleveland will release him to get out the contract, and somebody will pick him up.
I think he's going to be out of the NFL.
I think so and the reason why I think he's going to be out of the NFL because contract aside, when he got on the field, it just like mentally just looked like he wasn't performing. He wasn't there.
First of all, let's not forget that's the Cleveland Browns. Okay. Let's not forget where he's playing at. He's playing in Cleveland that has no stability when it comes to coaching. Has no stability. What?
Well, let's look at this, man. He started the year off starting, right? Yeah. And then he went down. And they were struggling. And then Flacco came in. You had that all-world tight end. You had Cooper, what's the boy, to come over from Dallas?
Yeah, but
what's his name? Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
They went on that run. So let's not say.
No.
Let me finish.
They
Baker
won 2
Mayfield played in that system with Stefanski.
They won 2
Cleveland
games.
had talent. You had Nick Chubb running the football. Cleveland had talent. So I don't care about the organization.
Flacco came in and won 2 games and lost to the playoffs.
No, he didn't. He won way more than 2 games.
No,
they went on a. Yes, he did. Yes, they did. And he won comeback player of the year that year. Yes, they did. And I'm just gonna say this: Cleveland had a loaded squad. The organization, you can say what you want about them. They had a loaded squad.
And
it's Deshaun's mental. Say that again.
Cleveland has always had a loaded squad when they had Baker Mayfield. They had a better squad when they had Baker Mayfield.
And look what they did with Baker. Baker and them went to the playoffs and beat Pittsburgh in the first round. They did pretty good that year.
No, they got beat in the playoffs.
They beat Pittsburgh the first game and then they lost.
Right.
Yeah. With that team. I'm saying, but that was good. That was good for them. They had a playoff drought for all them years. Quarterback carousel. They went to the playoffs with Baker and won a first round game.
Listen what you're saying. Listen what you're saying. They had a better team when they had Baker Mayfield than they did when they had Deshaun Watson.
I disagree with that. I think it was just as good, just as talented. That's why they went and got Deshaun.
They had Odell Beckham. They had Beckham in his prime.
That's why they went and got Deshaun, because they was loaded and they felt like Baker was holding them back.
And look what Baker did.
Yeah.
Baker goes to Tampa and destroys in Tampa.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, man. Let me see. Anna says just came back in. But speaking of the Browns, do y'all know Trevin Wade? Who is Trevin Wade? Man, you know Trevin Wade?
I have no idea who Trevin Wade is.
You know,
yeah, Clayton? I'm not a.
Yeah.
And real quick, man, when Joe was under center, they went 4-1.
Right.
Yeah, 4-1.
And then they lost in the playoffs.
Yes, but I'm just saying that was a loaded team. That's all I was saying. But go ahead, back to our point, Mike.
Out of those 4, what teams did they beat? What were the 4 teams they beat?
I'll let you know. Go ahead, Mike.
No. Go. You man, I didn't hear what you said, man. You said what?
No, I was asking him what was the 4 teams they beat when he went 4-1.
Oh, I don't know. I know. But look, man, let me ask you this. Did they win the first? They went out in the second round of the playoffs with Joe Flacco, didn't they? Or was that the first round? They went out in the second round, though, right?
No, Houston got them.
Yeah, they went out. I think they lost the first round. They lost, but they got there though. They wasn't expecting to get there. That was the problem. They wasn't expecting to get there.
Yeah. Let me see who they beat. Let me see. That was 2023. So let me see. Who was those 4? Who was those 4?
And then let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. If Joe Flacco was so pertinent, why did they let him go?
I wasn't talking about Joe. What I was saying to you was, you said Sean was playing in Cleveland, and I was pointing out how good Cleveland's personnel was. And I pointed to Joe Flacco when he came in that run they went on to show that they had a great team, a good team. Right. So Deshaun Watson is about his mental. It's not about what was around him.
But it is about what's around him. We just had a conversation about one player don't win a game. Well, we just had that conversation.
But I'm not saying that's now you're changing it to some degree. What I'm saying to you is Deshaun Watson's play is inadequate because of his mental stability, like Mike pointed out. He's gone mentally. So I don't think he's going to be in the NFL anymore. It's not about one player. That's not the conversation. The conversation is his inability. And you said, well, look who he's playing with. And I'm like, well, he had a good team. Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say is where's the fact that we say that he had a good team? That's what I'm trying to say. Where's that factor that he had a good team? Because
Cleveland, they were a good team. They won 11-6. They won 11-6 that year.
And we consider 11-6 a good team?
Yeah, I do.
Well, hey, I don't. You go 11-6.
You can win 11 games. When you win these double-digit wins in the NFL, you're a pretty good team.
How many games did the Ravens lose that year? 2?
I can't remember, man. I don't know.
That's what I'm
the Ravens was the Ravens was a great team that year. They lost 2 games? Right. We're not talking about that. We're just saying Cleveland had weapons. They were a good team.
The Ravens are in that division.
I understand
that. Talk about what the division did.
I understand that. I'm just saying I'm not comparing them to the Ravens was a great team, but that's not to say Cleveland wasn't a good team. I don't understand what you're saying right now.
I'm saying that the stats show that Cleveland going 11-6 does not make them a good team. They kept nobody from their team. They kept nobody from their team.
Well, that's your opinion. I believe Cleveland had a great team in place, and they've had problems with the quarterback. Baker Mayfield came. They started stabilizing that position. They went to the playoffs with Baker, won a playoff game. They moved on from Baker because they felt like Baker's turnovers was hindering them from going further. They brought in Deshaun Watson to a boatload of money to him. He didn't pan out.
No.
And then when he finally got healthy.
First, Cleveland didn't throw no money at him like that. Texas already gave him the money.
Bro, what I'm saying to you is he wanted out of Texas. He said, I'm not playing for y'all no more. So then what happened was a bit more. He wasn't going to go to Cleveland at first, but then Cleveland gave him an unprecedented contract, $230 million guaranteed after the whole scandal and everything. After the scandal, he got released. He was out there. Huh?
Texas gave him that contract.
Who?
Texas.
No. Texas gave him he had a big contract from Houston. He had a big contract from Houston, it's true. But he wanted them to consider him with personnel decisions and stuff. He also started feeling a certain way about the organization. So he said, I'm no longer going to play here. I want to be traded.
Hold on.
Then the scandal hit. All these women came out.
And the scandal didn't hit in Cleveland.
I didn't say that. I said Texas. Houston.
Right.
You're not listening. You're not listening, man. You're not listening.
Cleveland, Texas gave Cleveland Deshaun because of everything that was going on.
No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
All right.
That's not what happened.
We want to agree to disagree.
Well, that's not what happened.
Picked up that contract. Cleveland didn't give him more. Cleveland picked up the contract.
No, Cleveland gave them the contract. That's why the NFL was mad at Cleveland. They felt like that contract was unprecedented.
The contract that Cleveland gave, it was like Cleveland bid it against themselves because they gave Deshaun Watson all that money when really there was no that type of market out there for Deshaun Watson.
Well, there was another team in play, but so they tried to outplay him.
That kind of money though. Yeah, they outbidded themselves. They could have got him for a lot less than what they got him for.
Yes, and this is what happened, man. To your point, Houston did trade him to Cleveland, but Cleveland gave him a new contract that was unprecedented.
And so that makes my whole point of the fact that Cleveland management is what kills Cleveland.
Well, but we just talking, I don't know about that because here again, they were showing signs. I just think with the Deshaun Watson situation and the Baker situation, they moved on from Baker because they had such a great team in place and they thought that was the missing link. So they went out and got Deshaun. Yeah, and that's why they gave him that contract.
That's what I wanted to ask you, man. Do you think with Cleveland roster, do you think that they just a great quarterback away from being really a good team?
Absolutely not. No.
Now, see, that's why, and you could tell because of the moves that they've been making. I think people disagree with that. That's why
you can disagree
Deshaun Watson got that money.
You can disagree with it all you want to, but facts are facts.
As
loaded as Cleveland is, Cleveland's been loaded for the last 5-7 years.
Right.
From having every wide receiver having a great player at every position. Matter of fact, they had Chubbs and at running back.
That's what I'm saying.
2 great running backs.
That's what I'm saying. So all you need, if you got good wide receivers, good running backs, a solid defense, and then you get a quarterback, like if Deshaun Watson had lived up to his billing, Cleveland would be a team that, they would be somebody to reckon with in this division.
Again, Baker Mayfield was a 3,000-yard quarterback at Cleveland.
But he was an interception machine. And his interceptions and turnovers came in the wrong time, untimely.
Again, he threw the ball for 3,000 yards at least.
I know, but he threw turnovers.
Who else? Okay, I mean, look, it don't matter who you put on Cleveland.
In the playoffs, you got to protect the football. In the playoffs and big games, you got to protect the football.
It doesn't matter who you put on Cleveland. Y'all say Cleveland has talent, and they did, and it still went nowhere.
Yeah, because of the quarterback
situation. So sooner or later, you got
situation.
to figure out it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be management or it's going to be players. Which one are we talking about is going to be? Because we all must agree Cleveland failed.
You can say it's management because they putting the wrong guys at quarterback. I don't know.
Well, I just think that, they just looking for a quarterback. They looking for that needle in the haystack, like a lot of other teams around the league.
Yes.
You could have, wide receivers and running backs and the offensive line, but if you don't have the right quarterback, just look at the Texans and everybody's trying to look for that needle in the haystack. I think Cleveland was just like everybody else.
Yeah,
that needle in the haystack.
Listen, again, we're talking football. You can put a whole bunch of talent everywhere. That don't still mean you're gonna win. And Cleveland is a prime example of that. Still don't mean you're gonna win. Because I'm gonna tell you this: no matter what we talk about Baker Mayfield don't give up a touchdown. Cleveland defense gives up touchdowns.
Yeah, but Baker puts the defense on short field by turning the ball over.
Again, Baker Mayfield don't.
And I don't care how great the defense is when you keep rushing, putting them back out on the field in short field situations, they're going to give up something.
Again, it's a team sport. It's a team sport. It's a team sport.
Exactly.
If Baker Mayfield throws an interception, the defense gives up a touchdown. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So regardless of how great we're talking about how Cleveland team should have been, would have been, could have been, we all know at the end of the day, they weren't.
And when they inserted Deshaun Watson, he couldn't sustain drives. He couldn't move the ball. He couldn't move them downfield because of his mentals was gone, man. All that he had been through, his confidence was gone. It's gone.
That's all Mike was saying. Two things. Deshaun Watson was hurt most of his career, and he was on suspension the rest of his career.
Okay. I give you that.
How many total games did Deshaun Watson actually play for Cleveland?
I give you that. But
I don't know how many games. Man, so you don't think, bottom line, you don't think the Deshaun Watson career is over with?
No, I don't. No, not with these bums that's coming out. That's being backup quarterback. Prime example, Joe Flacco. Prime example. Joe Flacco is the prime example is that you don't have to be an all-star. All you have to do is be able to manage a game, and you will still have life in the NFL. Joe Flacco turned 40 years old. Soon as the Ravens court got Lamar, they let him go. Cleveland let him go and brought him back because there's nothing else out there.
I like Joe Flacco, man.
Joe got big arm. Yeah, Joe got big arm. And Cleveland had the right pieces. And he lit the league up. He lit the league up in them 5 games like a mug.
But yet Cleveland let him go.
Yeah, because they wanted young. They had to.
Let me finish.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Because Deshaun Watson was coming back off injury. So they went with that because he was still under contract. So you had $230 million on the books.
So let me finish. Then he goes to Indianapolis, and then Indianapolis let him go.
Okay.
So what are we talking about here?
Indianapolis,
how good? Are we talking about how good Joe Flacco is?
Listen, when you draft young quarterbacks, you bring in Anthony Richards and stuff like that, you're going to move off that veteran. You're making it seem like Joe is just absolute mud. The boy got a big arm, can throw all the throws, and if you put him in the right situation and you run the football and let him play action, he can still produce.
They picked up Joe Flacco last year. Anthony Richards was already there.
Yes, they picked him up because Anthony Richards' injury and stuff like that. You wanted to have something in your quarterback room. But they didn't pick him up for him to start.
That's exactly my point.
Yes, they moved on.
They let him go.
But I don't understand your point.
He wasn't any good. That's why they let him go.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
If Joe Flacco is not no good, man, then why don't they just get rid of him now and just ride with
because Cleveland has nothing else. They got 5 quarterbacks in the room. And let me say, and the reason they got 5 quarterbacks is because Deshaun is hurt. If Deshaun wasn't hurt, Joe Flacco's not playing for Cleveland. That's my point. Y'all want to talk about how bad Deshaun is and how mentally he's not there and how Joe Flacco can come in and take over. If Deshaun Watson was playing, Joe Flacco's not there.
We just No, the only reason Joe Flacco got into this conversation is because you said, when Mike said Deshaun, I don't think he's gonna be back in the league because it's mental, and you said he was playing in Cleveland. Look what he was playing with, and then I brought up Joe. Well, Joe got inserted, and that Cleveland team took off. That's the only reason Joe is in the conversation. We're not here saying that Joe is the best quarterback, and we're just showing you that Cleveland had something. That's it.
What? That's what I'm trying to say.
They had talent. Amari Cooper, that tight end Cleveland got, is probably in the top 5 of all tight ends in the league.
It's Amari Cooper.
They got Myles Garrett. They had a great defense. They had Nick Chubb. They had so much talent.
Cleveland did not have a great defense. They had a great player. They had a great defense.
I think they did have a great defense.
Anchored by, they had a really good defense anchored by a great player. Myles Garrett.
Did y'all watch last year?
We talking about Deshaun Watson's last time playing with them when he left.
Deshaun Watson played last year. He got hurt last year. That's why Flacco came in.
No, Flacco was in Indianapolis last year.
I'm saying that Deshaun Watson played last year. He got hurt. That's why they released Joe. Because Flacco was back.
No. You're right. Deshaun did play last year. Right. And let me tell you, the boy from Tampa took over. Jameis Winston, he played when Deshaun got hurt. Joe was in Indianapolis.
That's exactly what I'm trying. That's what I'm saying. Deshaun Watson will play if he's not hurt. That's what I'm trying to say.
Only thing Mike is saying, and I'm agreeing with, is after this, because they got a plan to get out of Deshaun's contract. They're going to put him on the injury list for the whole season. And next year, they're going to cut ways and they're going to take less of a salary cap hit. And I just believe from this point on, Deshaun will not see the NFL anymore in his career. That was just an opinion.
And I think he will.
That's fair.
Just because the state of the quarterbacks that's in the NFL.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson has talent if he's not hurt. He has talent.
He does have talent, but his mind is gone, in my opinion.
I kind of disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. I think he's gonna be out after this year, though. I think he's gonna be tearing tickets at the movie theater. But yeah, man.
Real quick, man. In 2023, the year Joe was there, the Cleveland Browns defense ranked among the league's best. They led the league in total defensive yards, led the league in total defensive yards, only allowing 270 yards a game. The Browns also boasted the lowest passing yards allowed. They also had the lowest passing touchdowns allowed.
Is that last
and
year?
They also had the lowest quarterback ratings against their opponents.
Is that last year?
That was the year Joe took over.
No, I said last year.
All right, now
let's talk about Myles Garrett and last year. We're talking last year.
Myles Garrett was there that year.
No, we were talking about
the team they had.
No, we weren't. We were talking about Myles Garrett and last year.
Okay, man.
That's what we're talking about. Right. Myles Garrett last year.
Okay. Last year, that defense fell off. The defense fell off last year.
And when did Myles Garrett get that big contract?
This year.
That's what I'm talking. That's what my point was. We're talking. The whole point was, I said we're not talking about a great defense. We're talking about a great player. Your point was, no, Cleveland had a great defense. I said, no, Cleveland did not have a great defense last year. They had a great defense player last year.
I think they had a great defense, but
as long as you got somebody like Myles Garrett on that defensive side of the ball, and then that's gonna cover up for like a lot of other deficiencies that you might have. Just like when the Ravens had Ray Lewis, like everybody on the Ravens defense towards the end of his career wasn't like a Pro Bowl type ball player, but you got Ray Lewis and you got Ed Reed in there. That makes your defense solid and be able to be in contention. So then when you get a quarterback like Joe who can run you through the playoffs, and so that's why I said that quarterback position, they looking for a needle in a haystack, right? Yeah. And they thought that maybe that Deshaun could be that, but he showed that he wasn't that.
And another thing that made Cleveland's defense stifle and fall off is because they lost Nick Chubb in the running game. I don't care how great the talent is on D. If they spending all day long on the field, they're going to give up stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the bunch of bullshit I've ever heard about an NFL team. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It all works.
You're trying to tell me an NFL team, if they lose Nick Chubb and the defense to suffer, come on now.
Because the running game now, they're not sustaining drives. They're not eating
clock. How NFL
the defense is spending all day on the field.
Well, how it works?
It's called next man up. It's called next man up. Huh?
Next man up.
Next man up. That's what it's called. Next man up.
The next man came
up.
If
somebody gets hurt, then the next man got to come in there.
The next man stepped in, and the running game wasn't effective.
And then
the Browns didn't have as much production. They was throwing the ball all over the field. Listen, when you throw a lot, you're going to give up the ball quick. You're not going to eat clock, and you're hanging your defense out to dry.
That's a bunch of bullshit. Okay. Your defense can be still stifling, dominating, because all you got to do is stop them for 4 downs, and if they go 4 downs, you keep going 4 downs, 4 downs, 4 downs.
Okay.
That's it.
If you say so.
That's it.
The Chiefs had that problem last year when the like they wasn't able to sustain drives last year. The Chiefs
went to the Super Bowl.
About that.
No, but their defense was rising to the occasion.
Yeah, man. I think you got to have a defense that's going to get people off the field, and
that's what the Ravens always had. No matter who was the running back, they had a defense that will get you off the field. There was a time where the Ravens didn't have a running back that was even in the top 20 running backs of the league. They were doing dual running backs, huh?
I disagree with that. Yeah,
Well, they were doing dual running backs. And they had Joe Flacco. They didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver, but their defense was still stifling.
The defense, when they won their last Super Bowl, their defense wasn't stifling. They were bend, don't break, but they wasn't stifling. They weren't.
Oh my God!
It's a fact. They weren't. They
weren't stifling.
They weren't. Not the last Super Bowl run. They weren't.
They weren't.
No, they wasn't.
Oh my God! Do y'all watch football?
Yes,
Man,
I do.
Man, do you know what stifling mean, man?
Yes,
right.
So are y'all trying to say that the Ravens won that Super Bowl because of the offense?
Yes, that last Super Bowl.
They didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver.
You don't have to have that. They had great production from their offense. They were scoring almost 30 points a game.
Oh my God!
What are you talking about? They had Vontae Leach, the fullback, leading the way.
Are you telling me that the Ravens defense was stifled in 2012?
Can't talk to y'all about football no more. If y'all gonna sit there and say that Ravens Super Bowl team was all because of that offense and not that defense, Ed Reed was a beast back there.
He was a beast.
What he was playing for.
He was a beast.
He was a beast. Are y'all serious?
He was a beast. But what I'm saying is this: Ed Reed does Ed Reed things. But the Ravens wasn't a dominating defense that year. They didn't rank high. They were bend over break.
Yes, they wasn't the 2000 Ravens. Yes, you're right about that.
Right.
But that Ravens defense, that won that second Super Bowl was a defensive-driven team. They were not an offensive-driven team.
Joe Flacco had a historic run through the playoffs.
Historic run, yes.
That was
what Joe Flacco. God, yo. Yes, he did. He had a historic run for Joe Flacco.
For the Ravens.
For the Ravens. Actually, no. They had a historic run for NFL history. He had the second best playoff run next to Joe Montana.
For what? Are we talking the whole Ravens team or are we talking Joe Flacco?
I'm just saying, what Joe did. And that was a part of the offense.
What was the average scoring with that team?
You have to go back and look it up,
Joe
man.
Flacco had a historic run that year.
Yes.
And it wasn't because of Ed Reed and it wasn't because of
Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was out. He went out after the Cowboy game with a separated thing. And he wound up coming back right before the playoffs. He wasn't even there.
Dude, the Ravens didn't even win. The Ravens didn't even win their division that year. What are y'all talking about? Huh?
You're right. They didn't.
Right. So what are y'all talking about? This historic run that the Ravens had. They didn't even win
in the playoffs. Joe Flacco and them, they had an historic run in the playoffs.
They had to have. They won the whole thing.
Yes.
But they
did it through their offense.
Listen, they weren't even the best team in their division that year.
And we're not talking about that. We're just saying what was the catalyst behind them winning the Super Bowl, and that year was their offense.
The defense.
In 2000, but not in that year. It wasn't.
Okay. We have to agree to disagree because if the offense was what it was, they weren't even the best team in their division. Now that's the best team in the conference.
Yes, because they wasn't balanced. They had offense production, but the defense was lacking. They wasn't what they used to be.
How did they have offensive production when they didn't even have a 1,000-yard receiver?
Man, they had a historic run. Joe Flacco had that historic run through the playoffs.
Oh my God!
The Ravens defense was average, I think, around that time.
Yes.
Oh my God! Who won the Super Bowl for the Ravens?
Joe Flacco.
Who won it?
The offense.
The offense.
2000, it was a Ravens defense. And then in 2012, it was
so I guess y'all forget about the final drive where the Ravens defense stopped Kaepernick from scoring, right?
Bro.
To win the game.
Bro, I'm going to say this. They was in the right play, but a lot of that fell on Cat. That was just a bad play. That was a bad play call. So, the Ravens got bailed out. It looked like the defense made this great stand, but how did they get down there in the goal line in the first place? Because Kaepernick was eating that ass up.
No, because of a turnover from Joe Flacco.
There wasn't no turnover. He had no turnover in that game.
Oh, my God.
He had no turnover in the Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Go back to the stats.
Listen, man.
I hope the audience is entertained.
No, actually, they got
they leaving out.
Yeah,
that's what happens when we talk about just Raven stuff.
No, that's what happened when you shift the conversation off Caitlin.
Exactly. Yeah,
but you can't talk about nothing but Caitlin, huh?
That's true. Yeah. But anyway,
fellas,
man.
as much as I enjoyed this, I have to go and split that. We've been on 2
my
hours.
battery dropping too, but
I'm ready to go too.
All right, fellas, tomorrow. I love it.
I know you do.
I appreciate you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, Clayton, appreciate you.
All right, Mike. He one of a kind, boy. Love it.
I need some aspirin when we talk to man. I need aspirin. I'm gonna bring aspirin tomorrow.
He does it on purpose. He does it on
man.
purpose.
I know. That's why I don't need,
Man be trolling the shit out of us, man.
Yeah.
You take it easy, man.
All right, man. You too.
All right, peace out.
All right, Kent, appreciate you, Kent. Honor, appreciate you. Who else was in here? Music Mindset, appreciate you for tuning in, participating. Let me see. We got Kent Carlson, Honor, Jehovah Sugar, appreciate you. Let me see. Everybody who participated in the chat and watched the stream, man, we appreciate y'all. Hopefully, y'all tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to leave a comment. And with that being said, we will check you out tomorrow. Peace.